Jar ASMR. Hello YouTube, and welcome back to episode 4 of our old school RuneScape Hardcore Iron Man account. As I mentioned in the previous episode, one of the bits of advice I was given was to focus on the format of my videos, and after reviewing them, I agree. I believe I've been trying to do too many things at once, and a more strict format for episode development will assist in avoiding that. And so I'd like to begin this episode with our new format. First, the update. Since our last episode, I've gotten 7 more attack levels, 7 more strength levels, and I've significantly increased our fishing and cooking skills. The reason I did this is, one, so I could enjoy the account off camera, but two, fishing is not particularly interesting to watch in this game, and so it gave me a way to relax myself, but while also improving the account, because ultimately, in order to fight the dragon, we're going to need a fishing skill of, I believe, 50, and a cooking skill of 50 or 55. That's so that way we can have the best food available to us in free-to-play. Additionally, in our last episode, I said that I would get us an iron shield, which I've done. Originally, we went to a shield shop, but apparently they never hold any shields in stock. It's just there for folks to sell. And so off camera, I went all the way north into the wilderness here, and went to this white area where an iron shield spawns for us to pick up. The reason I didn't record that is because this area of the wilderness is for player versus player activity, and if we die on this account, it resets. Well, not so much resets, but it prevents us from being able to be a hardcore Iron Man anymore. Since these videos are meant for relaxation, I thought a stressful trip through the dangers of the wild weren't particularly well suited for a video. So I waited until late at night, went to a world that didn't have very many people on it, and frantically ran to go get the shield. You can see that we're still an hardcore Iron Man account because of our red symbol next to our name here, so we've still managed to evade death. Now that we've discussed the update, the next series of the video will be the plan. The plan for today's video is going to involve killing these imps here. In our previous video, we started the quest Imp Catcher, where we needed to retrieve a black, red, white, and yellow bead. We retrieved the black bead, and so for the remainder of this episode, we're going to be hunting down the red, white, and yellow bead. The reason we're doing this quest first is so we can get a necklace of accuracy. One other update I failed to mention is I went and bought gloves from the same vendor we bought the red cape from. Now that we know the plan for today's episode, I'm not going to focus on talking about the game very much moving forward. It's a fairly standard game, and we've already discussed a lot of the mechanics on Tutorial Island. So now we're going to focus on combat by killing these red imps. It seems as though oh, I thought he teleported away. There he is. So we're going to start and attack him. And for the remainder of the episode, we are going to discuss the topic of the episode. As soon as we catch this guy, here we go. Oh, and he teleported away. The topic of today's episode is avoiding stagnation. And we got a yellow bead, so we're already 2 beads in. These are a bunch of the fish that I caught and cooked off camera. That's so that way we can heal ourselves in combat. So, avoiding stagnation. What I mean by that is many times in life we find ourselves saying, I just need to make it to this weekend. there's that imp. I just need to make it through this week and then everything will be fine. And when you self-reflect back, how many weeks do you say, I just need to make it through this week? And it's that mentality that I would refer to as stagnation. We've picked up ash, that helps us get our prayer, and this is a talisman used in rune crafting that we'll do later on the line. I personally found myself using that excuse quite often of, I just need to make it through this week, and still today I need to catch myself from that attitude. When you find yourself with that mentality, it's the start of a downward spiral in your attitude and feelings towards life. Constantly looking towards the future means that you're never really appreciating what's happening in the here and now. And so one of the ways that you can avoid this stagnation in your life is to set small, achievable goals. For instance, right now, as I've begun to build this channel back up, it's been my goal to produce at a minimum one video a week. Currently, I've been producing a video about once every 3 days, and that's because I'm still learning and I'm excited to get these videos rolling. Oh, there's an imp over there. Additionally, it's my opportunity to experiment as we grow this channel. But think of things in your life where you can set small goals. Maybe it's to walk a mile at least once a week, or learn to cook a new recipe. Our prayer level went up, so that was nice. We're going to run over here and get this guy behind the gate. By looking at these small goals, you find yourself, instead of reflecting on, you just got to get through this next work week, and you start thinking more along the lines of, I can't wait until I do X, Y, or Z. I look forward to my next video. I'm no longer thinking, I just need to get to this weekend. I'm thinking, I can't wait until the next time I have an opportunity to record. While I'm very self-critical of the videos I've been producing, I've been doing my best to not worry too much. The channel is very young, and even now we're attempting a new format. So, not to constantly speak to my own experiences, but think of what areas in your life you can improve and what small adjustments you can make. And by doing that, you may find yourself no longer focusing on making it to the weekend. Another common cause of this stagnation is when you focus on the negative in your life. I had a close friend who constantly... they didn't drop anything. I had a close friend who constantly bemoaned their job, saying that they felt like they should be doing more in this world. Not that the job that they had they disliked, but they felt as though they weren't making an impact. That's a common concern for a lot of people, and when I was younger it was something that I considered quite a bit as well. However, over time I realized that my job wasn't necessarily the means for change. However, what my job provided me allowed me to change the world for those around me. That is to say, I no longer care about what my career is. I simply care about what it affords me and my family. And a white bead. That means we are only missing the red bead. We're getting very lucky here. Typically, in the past, if I recall, this quest takes some time. Yep, we only need a red bead. He he's respawning quite routinely, so I think we're going to just stay here and continue killing him. We picked up some shears. I know we're going to need that for a quest in the future, and then any cooked meat is always good to help train our attack. If we finish this quest too early in the episode, we will likely go back to killing goblins or cows just to get both our strength and attack up to 20. He teleported into that field. As I mentioned, focusing on what your career affords you may help you overcome those Monday blues. While the internet and TV might convince you you need to love your job, I would argue what you need to love more is what you do outside of your job, and focus on how the money you're making allows you to do those things. You'll find yourself much more content in life with that attitude, and you may even find yourself enjoying your job that you previously didn't when you finally come to terms with all of the benefits it's providing you and your loved ones. Another thing to think about is identifying those moments of stagnation, those moments where you feel like you're not accomplishing much. If you're ever in a situation where you feel like you should be doing more, it's always simple to say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or I just need to be motivated, or I need a plan. Instead, I would encourage you to just go and do. What you do might not result in anything of particular value, but it will start the stone rolling. And as soon as it rolls and begins to pick up momentum, you'll find it easier. You know, I could have waited to start this video after I had a more clear plan instead of just rambling on. However, I just remind myself that part of making these videos is to produce candid ASMR moments, and also the longer I wait to produce a video, the more likely I'll be dissatisfied with it. I'll find myself thinking I need to do it this way or it won't look right, or I need to research more because if I don't, it'll look sloppy. And while these videos likely do come off as sloppy, I've already seen improvements from my first video to this one now as we follow this format. Hopefully we can get lucky here with a red bead. Oh, our attack level went up to 18. That's fantastic. This imp may not be the best one for us to hunt because he's constantly hopping through fences. Let's see here. Oh. The items that we're leaving and not picking up, like buckets of water, that's because they don't provide very much value to our character right now. I try and reduce the number of times we go to the bank. And while we wait for this imp to respawn, we can kill this goblin. And we'll kill this goblin as well. You can also see our gold has increased back up. That's because, again, of those random events that can occur. And they happen off screen. There's that imp. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll experience a random event together during this video. Typically they occur, I believe, no earlier than 10 minutes upon logging in. And I think you're expected to get one every 2 hours of play. Of course, not on the dot, but I think the programming, I'm not certain, I could be wrong. In fact, I'm sure I'm wrong. But it's something like that. There's programming where you have to be logged on for a certain amount of time before you have a chance of getting the random event. And probability of the events results in, I think, roughly 2 hours of play between events. Or it could be 3 hours of play. We've kind of reached the conclusion of our subject of stagnation. As I've mentioned before in the past, the goal of this channel is to help those that listen. I'd really like to approach a point within the channel in our community where folks can submit their concerns or topics that they'd like to see discussed. Not necessarily, oh, we got a second black bead. Not necessarily because they should listen to my advice, but rather sometimes just having an echo board or something to sound off on will help you sort through anything that's currently troubling you. So we've been focusing on these broad topics like how to be happier or how to interpret advice. I'm hoping we can move towards more pointed questions such as, how do I do something meaningful for my loved one, or this happened to me, how should I feel about it kind of situations. Everyday life stuff where you sometimes just seek out a second opinion. Even small things like, should I buy this new car? Are items that we will discuss on this channel. We're going to continue to hunt this imp and get this red bead. Here we go. This is the one, folks. Where did he teleport off to? He went back into the sheep's pen. This necklace that we're trying to get of accuracy is going to be kind of the best necklace that we're going to have for some time. There's this large spell book here, and in it we can enchant jewelry. That's why we're picking up this wizard's hat. I think we already have a wizard's hat. We do, so we're going to drop it. We don't need that. But as I was mentioning, these spell books, we can enchant jewelry, but we're going to have to level up our magic in order to do that, as well as level up our crafting so that way we can make the jewelry. And that's going to take quite some time. And so this necklace of accuracy is likely going to be the best in slot for our character for quite some time. And in fact, when you look at all these spells, a lot of them are for members. And we can go to filter, and we can select show spells you lack the requirements to cast. We can deselect that. And then these are all the free to play spells. When we get burnt meat and some more ashes. Anytime something drops bones or ashes, we're going to want to bury them. It gives us a very small amount of experience, but this is similar to what I said about making small steps in order to avoid stagnation. Over time, all of these bones that we bury are going to help us level our prayer, and we're going to need to get our prayer up to probably level 43, and that gives us protection from physical damage for a brief period of time, and we're probably going to want that for when we go against the dragon. We already have a tinderbox, it's in our bank, so we'll leave that there. As I discussed before with this Iron Man account, we are never going to level our defense, and while our armor will determine how high of a number we can be hit with, our defense stat in general just determines how often they hit, not necessarily the amount that they hit with. Um, but in line with that, because we only have a level 1 defense, we won't be able to get better armor. And while we could always level it up, I had just always envisioned beating the dragon in the Iron Man armor. And I figure if we're sticking to this armor set, let's also stick to the minimum requirement. Let's go get this guy over here. Hopefully he'll drop that red bead we've been searching for. Oh, he's a tricky one too. He's teleporting all over the place. Where is he, do you think? Oh my gosh, he went inside the farmer's house. Hopefully, all of our efforts in hunting this imp will result in us getting that red bead. Oh my goodness. Where did he go now? He's inside the chicken coop? There he is. Do you think he'll teleport again? Last shot. Oh, is he gonna teleport? No, we got him this time, guys. And a yellow bead. Well, at least he dropped a bead. So we have 2 yellow, we've got 2 black. I'm going to eat some of these fish just to get them out of our inventory. These imps aren't really hurting us very much, so that's nice. And we're going to run back to where he spawns. Hopefully he's there by the time we get there. There's that one that keeps spawning over there as well. Oh, now that we're in combat with this goblin, maybe we'll have to do a video on patience. I suspect that this... Oh, he dropped an air talisman. We will definitely want that. And we got to level 19 attacks. That's nice too. These, another black bead. These talismans that I'm picking up, they're for ruin crafting. And you've seen me in previous episodes drop these air and mind runes and get more from the mage trainer. Because we can't trade with other players, when we train magic, we're going to need quite a lot of ruins. And we can either buy them from stores in-game with our gold, or we can craft the ruins ourselves. And actually, one of these free-to-play quests we're going to have to do, I think it's Ruin Mysteries, unlocks our ability to train ruin crafting. And another yellow bead. We're getting every bead but the red one, guys. We're going to eat some of these fish, get them out of our inventory. I'm picking up these beads because I don't know how valuable they are, and I can sell them to the general store. See, there's a player there. Even though, as Ironman, we can't trade with other players, I'm pretty sure if we sell these to the general store and a new player goes to that store, they'll be able to buy them. I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully that's the case, and then maybe we can spare someone else the hassle of chasing after these teleporting imps. Let's get him. And this guy's still been sitting here, so we might attack him too. That way we don't need to wait. A raw chicken. We don't really need that, so we're going to drop it. And our prayer is level 10. I think that unlocked something. Yep. Now our prayer gives us rock skin. It increases our defense by 10%. Eventually we want to get up to this level 43. And a white bead. I think we have... Yep. It'd be nice if I could trade beads with folks. Oh, there's another hardcore Iron Man. So he's doing the same thing as us in terms of his character is not allowed to die. as this channel grows, I suspect I will also be playing other games that are a little more engaging. RuneScape is more of a leave on in the background kind of game, whereas in my very first videos 3 years ago, I played, I forget the name of it, Spire or something. But it was a card game. It involved a lot of reading and a lot of randomization, so it kept the viewer more engaged in what was happening on screen. And I wasn't sure if that was as good, because for ASMR, sometimes you want to be focused more on the sounds of what's happening. Speaking of sounds, I'm not. Oh, our hit points went up. We definitely need a lot of hit points, guys, because we're going to get hit by that dragon quite a few times, and we need to make sure that we don't die. As I was saying, I wanted people to focus more just on the sound of my voice, I guess. But again, any feedback that could be provided would be greatly appreciated. It really keeps me motivated, and I do want to thank my subscribers again for staying subscribed. There's one subscriber in particular who has encouraged me greatly with their comments. I believe they know who they are since they're the most active in commenting, but it genuinely means a lot to me. Knowing that what I produce is at least helpful to one person makes me want to produce even more. So if you're watching this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe, comment, like the video. I generally, goodness, I generally don't like it when people request others to subscribe. I'm going to make sure I don't do that very often. I only bring it up now, not because I want to see better metrics, but because it helps me help you, if that makes any sense. Oh, that guy's hunting imps too. Let's see if he'll talk to us. So we want show standard. How's it going? Let's see if he'll talk to me. Oh, WWSWWW. Well, that was insightful. And he logged off. We are on an American server. But I guess he didn't want to talk. I think what we'll do now is I'm going to continue killing these imps, and when the red bead finally does drop, I'm going to turn the recording back on, so that way we can go to the wizard's tower together and finish the quest. My fear is that if this takes a fairly long time to get lucky, we will create a video that's not particularly interesting. So I'm going to drop this tinderbox. I'm going to pick up these ashes, spread them for our prayer. Let's see. I've got 19 attack. Once we get it up to 20, we're going to go over to strength. So we'll see what my stats are by the time I'm done hunting these imps. I won't attack anything else but the imps, so that'll leave a little bit of surprise for when the video cuts back after I've received that red bead. So we'll be back in just a moment. Unless this guy drops it. Because that's how life works, right? When we tell folks we're about to do something, he's gonna drop the red bead for us. Okay, he didn't. Alright, I'm gonna see you guys back here once I get the red bead. Welcome back. We got our red bead finally. And as you can see, it took quite a bit more kills. The game gave me every other bead but the red bead. Our attack got up to 20 and our strength got up to 19. We also got another level in prayer. However, now that we have all of the beads, we're going to go back to the mage tower, which, if you recall, we always start here, and the mage tower is down there. So we're going to head that way, and I can discuss what happened off camera on our way there. It's certainly a good thing that I decided to break the recording up. Otherwise, we would have watched me flounder for quite a while. One of the imps dropped a potion, and when you examine it, it says it's meant to be good for spots. I don't know if that's flavor text. I don't recall this ever being a drop. So we're going to hold on to it for now, because I don't know how valuable it is. Now the imps are like level 2, so it's not like it's worth a ton of gold. Uh-oh, and this level 26 is attacking us. We got a little too close to the jail, I think. But now we're going to head over to the mage tower. Also, when the camera was off, I went and talked to the mage trainer and got ourselves an additional 30 more ruins. We're going to start training magic pretty soon instead of combat. We need to be able to teleport. That's usually the best way to avoid death. If something's about to kill us, we can try and teleport away. And then also, as I mentioned before, to enchant our jewelry. Because until we can enchant jewelry, because we don't have a way of trading with people, this necklace we're about to get is going to be our best in slot. So let's see, Imp Catcher. So now that I've collected all the missing beads, and I need to return them to the wizard Mizgog. So here he is. Talk to him. So how are you doing finding my beads? I've got all 4 beads. It was hard work, I can tell you. Give them here, and I'll check that they really are my beads before I give you your reward. You'll like it. It's an amulet of accuracy. So I'm going to give him the colored beads to the wizard. He puts them in this little tray. Oh, we got magic experience because of that quest. So congratulations, you've completed Imp Catcher. You were awarded 1 quest point, 875 magic experience, an amulet of accuracy. So that brought our magic level all the way up to level 8. So it's pretty nice. And now we have this amulet that we can put on. And there we are. It's quite stylish. So one of the things that we can do in this game as well is you always have teleport home. This isn't an instant cast teleport like the others, so you can't really be in combat while you do it. Your character sits down, draws a little circle, and then teleports away. And now we're back to the Lumbridge Castle. We're going to go see what those beads sell for. So over here's the general store, and we can trade with the shopkeeper. A white bead, they all sell for 1 coin, so that's pretty, it's not much, but we don't need them anymore, so we might as well get rid of them. What does the potion sell for? Potion sells for 0. We can sell a brass necklace for 12. And we can, let's sell 2 of our trout so we can get over to 1,000 gold. There we go. So, I believe that's going to be the end of this episode. We're going to try and continue to refine the series a little more. As discussed, we're going to start with the update, the plan, the topic, and we're going to end with, I don't know if I have a name for it yet. If I do, it'll appear on screen right now. And here we're going to discuss what's going to happen off camera until our next episode. I'm going to continue fishing and cooking until I can make it so that way we can fish swordfish at level 50. And we need to be able to cook swordfish at level 45. Additionally, there's anchovy pizzas, and I believe anchovy pizzas are the highest free-to-play food. So we need to get our cooking up to 55, we need to get our fishing up to 50. There will be a small segment of me fishing in one of the videos, just so that way you can see how it's done. Like I said, it's mostly just clicking and AFK, watching a YouTube video on the side, not really paying attention to what's happening on screen. I'm also going to get our strength up to 20, and I believe that's all. So when we get back on the next episode, we'll likely look for another quest to complete. We need to prepare ourselves to get our best in slot for our inevitable dragon fight. One of the things we need to do is get the combat boots, and that's done by going to a dungeon in the barbarian village and running through it to secure our account with two-step authentication. And when you make it to the end of that maze or dungeon, they give you combat boots, and those will be the best in slot for free to play. So I believe on next episode, that's what we'll try and achieve. Thank you all for watching, and this is Jar ASMR, and good night.